Yeah, what's going on, family? It's your man B Miles coming to you live once again with another video from the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. And this morning, I definitely want to come to y'all with another video, talking about, this is War on Drugs 2.0, part 2 that I'm going to come to y'all this morning. And the reason why I'm definitely going to come to y'all with another video, because this is very critical about Jeff Sessions and the war on drugs. Now, I already told y'all, some of the origins of what they did, when it came down to the African American community and also Latino communities, when it came down to the war on drugs. And I'm definitely going to say, if you're going to have this war on drugs, Mr. Jeff Sessions, you better look within your own community, because for one, let me tell you something right about now, sir. The war on drugs, it's nothing but an epic fucking fail any goddamn way, and it's only going to cause more damage, and it's going to cause more hurt, and it's actually going to decimate families. But I'm going to tell you one thing. What Jeff Sessions needs to do, he needs to start looking at the white community, because that's where the drugs are. Because I already know that they're going to try to blame, African Americans and also Latinos for them getting on the drugs. Because, like I said, for one, if the drugs would have never affected our communities, they would have never affected white society, because white society, they used to get their drugs from us. And because, see, now that the war on drugs has backfired, now you want to, change the bias. You want to have a softer war on drugs, and instead of y'all, coming to the African American, instead of y'all coming to black and brown communities, you better launch that war on drugs on your own society right then and there. You feel me? But I already know that coded language, tough on crime and strict alarm sentences, it's only going to target us anyway. It's only going to target black and brown peoples who are really nothing but the aboriginal indigenous peoples of this land. But that's another subject. But for the most part, I see that y'all need to target white society, because there's a lot of white drug dealers that are out there. There's a lot of drug addicts out there. In the war on in this quote unquote war on drugs and all that, it is affecting your society at a very alarming rate. And I'm talking about there are more of y'all dying from heroin than any daggone thing. You feel me? And I'm talking about in 17 states, there are more whites dying than being born in 17 states. And y'all need to take that war on drugs out there to your own society, because it is affecting y'all. I'm talking about places like in Maine, places like Vermont, or Massachusetts. I'm talking about New York State. I'm talking about Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, my state, Pennsylvania. I'm talking about all the way down in Florida, places like Iowa. And I remember the time when he said this in Boys in the Hood, when Lawrence Fishburne was talking to Morris Chestnut and Cuba Gooding Jr. in that scene. He was saying that drugs wasn't a problem when it came into our communities, but drugs became a problem when they started to show up at places like Iowa and Wall Street. You need to take that war on drugs into white society, and you need to protect those white drug dealers out there, and you need to give them mandatory drugs. You need to give them mandatory sentencing. You need to give them long drug sentences right then and there, because for one, we the ones that's not out there importing drugs in your community. We don't own any boats, we don't own any planes, because mind you, y'all need to take a long look in the mirror. So if you're going to be doing something like that, then you need to protect the drug dealers that's out there in your society, because it's not like we out there, pushing it or selling it to y'all. No, y'all going out there and getting these things for your daggone self. And the heroin epidemic is so bad, the Attorney General even said it himself, it's worse than the crack epidemic. But what I found it to be real funny is that y'all changed the bias. And like I said, this war on drugs, man, it's nothing but code of language anyway. Because what are you fighting? Are you fighting the drugs, or are you fighting the people? Because like I said, y'all been doing major drug busts, and like I said, it's more of y'all on the drugs than anything. When I check the statistics, 91% of all new heroin users that are white. They are Caucasian. They are your people. So it is not our fault. Because if you want to take a look at it, the war on drugs, this war on drugs has backfired into your society. And it's really affecting y'all at an alarming rate. It is affecting every social economic class that is out there right now. So you need to take that fight back to your own community. Y'all need to get tough on crime in white society towards those white drug dealers. Don't even dare try to bring it on us. But like I said, they already know the plan of what you're trying to do. You're going up against North Korea because they real big on that opium, and a lot of those soldiers are going to come back real hot. If you beef with North Korea, You know what I'm saying? If y'all going to beef with North Korea, and guess what? They're going to send in a lot of soldiers over there to North Korea, and guess what? They already got soldiers out there in North Korea protecting those fields. Yeah, that's right. North Korea is a major supplier in opium. They are a major supplier in opium, and it's the same thing. North Korea ain't nothing but the new Vietnam anyway, because they had their opium, and once some soldiers came back doped up off their heroin, that was when you brought that real big war on drugs. So already see your plan. You feel me? Whatever that's a war foreign, that's going to be a war domestic. So when you got North Korea that America is beefing with, all of a sudden they big on the opium trade. That's when they're going to send the soldiers in there. They're going to bring back a lot of their opium, and they're going to try to pour that opium back onto the black community, in between the black and the brown communities. You feel me? And that's the African American and Latino community. So I see what they're trying to do, but instead you need to take that fight back to white society, because it's tearing your people apart. Because I already know they're going to try to bring more drugs back into our societies so they can find a way to criminalize all of those tough laws and all of those stricter laws. Those enough of a code of language, meaning we're going to start sweeping up these niggas and these spics. That's your language. I'm not calling them spics as far as a racial term as far as me, but I'm saying that's your way of thinking. So they're going to try to mass incarcerate us in record numbers, because for one, crime has gone up in their communities, and at the same time, the heroin epidemic is so bad right about now. It's terrible, and it's decimating them in record numbers like never before. So, like I said, I mean, this is War on Drugs 2.0 Part 2. I had to drop this video once again because I'm just connecting the dots for y'all to my audience. So keep on liking and subscribing to my channels. I really appreciate the love. And this is B-Miles coming to you live once again from the B-Miles 84 Conscious channel. One love once again. Peace.